Hello everyone and welcome back. You know we love diving deep into all sorts of material here, and today we're tackling something a lot of you have been asking about. Speaking confidently in English, especially in public.
It's a great topic, and public speaking is consistently ranked as one of the top fears people have. But it doesn't have to be that way, right?
Right. And you guys sent in some really interesting stuff from Sophia and James, both offering advice on how to speak smart. So let's get into it, shall we? I was actually struck by how much both of them emphasized relaxation and practice as the foundation for confident speaking.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Makes sense though, doesn't it? It's tough to be articulate and engaging when you're a bundle of nerves.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Okay, so the relaxation part. Relax, you'll be fine. I feel like that's easier said than done, especially when you're about to face a crowd or even a camera.
You're telling me. But both Sophia and James offer some really concrete techniques. Have you ever tried that 4-7-8 breathing technique? I think Sophia mentioned it.
I've heard of it, but honestly never tried it. Inhale for 4, hold for 7.
And exhale for 8. It's supposed to be amazing for regulating your heart rate and calming your nerves. I use it sometimes before presentations, and it does seem to help.
Interesting. Might have to give that a shot. James also talked about visualizing a successful presentation. Have you ever tried that?
All the time. It's a classic sports psychology technique, but it works for public speaking too. Just close your eyes and really picture yourself giving a killer presentation. You're confident, the audience is engaged, and you're nailing it. It kind of tricks your brain into believing it's possible,
I love that. Anything else on the relaxation front?
Well, Sophia also mentioned progressive muscle relaxation, where you tense and then release different muscle groups. It's supposed to help alleviate physical tension.
Ooh, like a mini massage for your anxiety? Okay, so we're feeling zen. Now, what about practice? I gotta be honest, talking to myself in the mirror feels a bit awkward.
Totally get it. I think most of us feel that way. James suggested recording yourself while you practice. Might be a little cringy to watch at first, but it really helps you spot areas to work on.
Like all my ums and likes.
Yeah. And your pace, tone, all that good stuff. Sophia also recommended practicing in front of a small, supportive audience like friends, family, maybe even your dog.
My dog would definitely fall asleep. But I do like the idea of gradually exposing yourself to speaking situations. It makes it less scary over time.
Totally. All right, so we're relaxed, we've practiced. Let's talk about the actual speaking part. Both Sophia and James really hit on the importance of clear communication. Like, it's not just about speaking, it's about being understood.
Makes sense, right? But it's surprising how many people forget that in the heat of the moment, they're so focused on the words, they forget to make sure the meaning is landing.
Exactly. I think Sophia put it well when she said something like, think of your audience as guests at a dinner party. You wouldn't just start talking at them without making sure they felt welcome and understood. So how do we do that? What did they suggest?
Body language was a big one. Sophia said that paying attention to your posture, eye contact, and gestures can make all the difference.
Absolutely. Simple things like standing up straight and making eye contact can make you appear more confident and trustworthy. And using gestures can help to emphasize your points or make them more memorable.
It's like, instead of keeping your hands in your pockets, maybe use an open palm when you're trying to come across as sincere.
Exactly. But don't overdo it with the hand gestures. You don't want to be distracting either.
Yeah, gotta find that sweet spot. Now, what about tone of voice? I remember James had some interesting stuff to say about that.
Oh yeah, he was all about varying your pitch and pace to keep your audience engaged. Think about it. No one wants to listen to someone drone on in a monotone.
I'm getting sleepy just thinking about it. So what, like using pauses strategically or something?
Exactly. Like a well-placed pause can really emphasize a point. And then think about changing your pace to match the emotion of what you're saying.
Ooh, and like raising your voice when you want to make something really important stand out.
Yeah. Think about some of the most famous speeches, like Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. His words were powerful, but his delivery was also just captivating.
Goosebumps. Okay, we've covered body language, tone of voice. What about the words themselves?
Vocabulary. Right, both Sophia and James stressed the importance of building your vocabulary, but they also warned against using overly complex words just to sound smart. It's about finding that balance between sounding articulate and being clear and understandable.
It's like you want people to walk away remembering your message, not scrambling to look up every other word in the dictionary.
Exactly. Think of it like adding spices to a dish. You want to enhance the flavor, not overwhelm it.
Makes sense. Speaking of overwhelming, let's talk about the big one, pressure. How do we stay calm when the stakes are high and we're feeling the heat?
Well, first of all, remember that 4-7-8 breathing we talked about? That can work wonders in the moment, too.
Right. And I remember James talked about the power of positive self-talk. It can be so easy to spiral into negative thoughts, but it's important to catch yourself and reframe those thoughts.
Totally. Instead of thinking, I'm going to mess this up, try something like, I've got this, I'm prepared, I have something valuable to share.
I feel more confident already.
See? It works. It's all about shifting your mindset. Oh, and Sophia had a really good point about setting achievable goals. It's not about being perfect right away. It's about making progress over time.
Yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither are amazing public speaking skills.
Exactly. So instead of focusing on being perfect, celebrate those small wins. Did you manage to maintain eye contact with the audience for longer this time? Did you try out a new vocabulary word? Give yourself credit for those small victories because they all add up.
I like that. It's a good reminder that we're all a work in progress, and that's okay. Speaking of progress, both Sophia and James made a point of saying that communication is about connection, not perfection. I think that's so important to remember.
Absolutely. I used to get so caught up in trying to be the perfect speaker. Like I had to have every word memorized and delivered flawlessly. But honestly, that just made me more nervous and less engaging.
Because it felt robotic,
Right.
not human.
Exactly. And people can tell. They want to see the real you, the one who's passionate about their message and willing to be vulnerable.
It's like giving yourself permission to be human, flaws and all.
Totally. And audiences connect with that authenticity. It makes you more relatable and memorable. Oh, and one more thing, both Sophia and James recommended finding a supportive community to practice with. Like, consider joining a Toastmasters club or a public speaking group where you can get feedback and encouragement from others who are on the same journey.
That's a great tip. Having a supportive network can make all the difference in building confidence and honing your skills.
For sure. And remember, at the end of the day, it's supposed to be enjoyable too. Like, embrace the learning process, celebrate the wins, and don't be afraid to have a little fun along the way. So true. Okay, wow, we covered a lot of ground today. We talked about practical relaxation techniques like the 4-7-8 breathing and visualization, the importance of clear communication through body language and tone of voice, and the power of building vocabulary, staying calm under pressure, and embracing the journey rather than striving for perfection. So much good stuff in there.
Totally. And it all boils down to this. What message do you want to share with the world? What unique perspective and insights do you bring to the table?
Such a good question. I think that's a great place for us to leave it today. Let us know what you want to share. Thank you for listening to the Speak Smart podcast and subscribe to my channel, like the hit button.